For today's practice, we'll have a full yoga practice that does not stretch the back. For those of you who may have any injuries or complications with the back, so the rest of the practice will focus on the rest of the body. So as you take a seat, find a cross-legged position or a seat that's comfortable. Allow the sit bones to be rooted into the ground, pulling the skin up and away from the sit bones, the bottom. Relaxing the hands or arms in the lap as is comfortable. Inviting a tall spine, drawing the navel in and up toward the spine. And noting the air enter and exit through the nostrils. Noting on the inhale, the belly rise as it expands to fill with air. And on the exhale, belly retreats back to the spine as air releases. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose, allowing the belly to rise and fall on inhale and exhale. Keeping an even pace of breath, allowing the inhales to match the length of the exhales. Face relaxed, jaw, space between eyebrows relaxed. Deepening the breath, just lengthening the inhale just a bit, lengthening the exhale just a bit. Next time you inhale, opening the eyes if they were closed, bringing both palms to heart center, just allowing the thumbs to graze the heart or breastbone, allowing the head to bow to the hands slightly just to set an intention for the practice. Noting as you sit here, the sit bones and legs connected to ground, the thumbs connected to heart, the fingertips connected to each other, and the gaze ahead of mat. On your inhale, release both hands to the sides and simply walk the right hand out, kind of spidering with the fingertips to the mat, walking the hand out just a tiny bit. Again, as much or a little as is comfortable for your back, lifting the left arm on inhale. Does not have to be a deep stretch, just finding a nice lift. On exhale, releasing the left hand, again spidering the fingertips to the ground, maybe just a few inches out, lifting the right arm on inhale. And then releasing right hand to the ground, walking the fingers in that spider position underneath the shoulders or behind the back, and drawing the shoulder blades together just a tiny bit, very tiny bit, as you extend the chest out. And you can bring a lift to the gaze if there's no issues with the neck, otherwise keeping gaze ahead. Noticing the air rise from the bottom of lungs to the upper lungs, upper chest. And then walking the hands back to the center, hands out to the right. Inhale, left arm up, gazing to the left hand. Exhale, left hand returns to ground, spider fingers. Right arm lifts on inhale. Exhale, return, hand to the ground. Hands spider back behind underneath the shoulders. Shoulder blades peel just a bit back. Chest expands a bit. Gazing up if comfortable for neck. Take one more full breath here. And then as you come back to the center, untuck the legs, returning to a seated position, or facing the top of your mat if you've shifted, engaging the core, pulling the belly in nice and firm towards the low back. Keeping the feet or toes to the ground to begin with. Keeping the core engaged and the back remains nice and firm. Arms can remain underneath the legs or out to the sides. To make it more challenging, you can lift one leg or two, keep the knees bent, or straighten the legs. Any place that you choose, or keeping the low back firm, focusing on the nice straight back, chest is wide. Taking breaths in and out through nose for 3 more. And then as you release, crossing the ankles, planting the palms, and finding your way to a plank position. Rooting the wrists underneath the shoulders, spreading the fingertips out nice and wide. Go ahead and press back through the heels, pressing heels away from the head, and you might shift the weight forward, making sure the shoulders are over the wrists. Maintain the back nice and lifted. You don't want to let it dip down at all. Pressing heels away from the head will continue to protect the low back. 3 more breaths. On the exhale, soften down to the knees, untuck the toes, bring the bottom back toward the heels, and just relax in child's pose. If it's comfortable for you to extend the arms out, that's fine, just relaxing the body. If there's any issues in the upper back or shoulders, you can bring the arms to your sides and release the head towards the ground. Noticing the back lift a little bit or rise on inhale as the rib cage expands, lungs fill with air. On the inhale, plant the hands, come back up to tabletop position, keeping the shoulders directly over the wrists, this time lifting the right leg on inhale, keeping the right foot pointed down and flexed. Again, keeping the back lifted, don't allow the belly to dip down here. You can remain here or lift the left arm at the same time. Keeping an active push and reach, keeping that right foot flexed, rotates that right hip inward. Take 5 breaths. Exhale, release back down to hands and knees. Just keep the gaze neutral for a moment, taking a breath in and out. Lifting left leg on inhale, left foot flexes, pointing down. If you're comfortable here, lifting the right arm as well. Keeping the left fingertips spread wide, keeping that active push and reach. 5 breaths. And exhale, releasing back down. Neutral tabletop position. Keep the gaze neutral or at the ground. Take a breath in and out. From here, you'll curl the toes under, plant through the hands, or find pressure through the hands. And if you can, just take a small hop or step to the top of your mat. Go ahead and keep a nice healthy bend to the knees, but bring the hands to the thighs. And just keep a nice flat back here, gazing ahead, keeping the chest lifted or open. Bend to the knees protects the low back. And then find your rise up to standing, coming all the way to standing, rooting firmly through both heels and feet. Keeping the feet just hips distance apart or so, and lifting the arms when ready on inhale. You can gaze up gently. And exhale, send the palms down to heart center. Make a full circle, keeping the left hand to the chest. Just make a full circle with the right arm on inhale. And go ahead and send it back down on exhale. Another circle lifting. Exhale, bringing the hand down. Left arm up on inhale. And bring it down on exhale. One more circle, half circle up. And exhale it back down. From the top of your mat, keep the feet hips distance apart. Find a bend to the knees. Pointing the tailbone down here. You can bend as much or little as is comfortable, lifting the arms to chair pose or Utkatasana. Keeping the navel pulled in and up toward the spine. On your exhale, straighten the legs and fold forward. So this forward fold can be as much or little as you like. You can keep the knees bent and hands to the thighs to protect the back, or if it's okay, you can fold over and keep a nice bend to the knees, supporting the hands, or with the hands even, to create no significant stretch in the back. Rise up on inhale to standing, straighten the legs, finding that length on inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands back down. Inhale, bend the knees, point the tailbone down, lift the arms to chair pose. Go ahead and shift the weight into the left foot and just lift the right heel, bringing a stretch to the right foot and challenging the balance. If that feels completely fine for you, feel free to lift the toes off the ground and or the entire right leg off the ground. And go ahead and set that right leg back down. Go ahead and shift the weight to the right foot, lifting the left heel, bringing a stretch to the left foot, keeping the foot here, lifting the toes so slightly, or releasing that left foot in towards the chest, maintaining balance, smooth breath. Go ahead and release that left foot back down. Exhale to a forward fold. Again, nice high fold or a low fold, keeping the knees nice and bent to protect the low back. Lengthening halfway on inhale. So rather than hands to shins here, you can always keep the bend in the knees lengthening. Exhale, plant the hands. Slowly step back to plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Pushing heels away from the head. 2 or 3 breaths. Softening down to the knees, untucking the toes, coming back to a relaxing child's pose. Arms can remain out, offer a last stretch in the back. Hands can come towards the ankles. Slowly find your way back up towards tabletop position. Curl the toes under, press through the heels. Take a hop or a step to the top of the mat. And slowly rise up on inhale to standing, taking your time. Chin is the last thing to lift. Arms rise on inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bending the knees again, keeping feet hips distance apart. Come to chair pose. Be sure to draw the navel in and up towards the tailbone or spine. Shift the weight again to the left foot. Lift the right leg this time into that chair, one-legged chair. You can keep the toes to the ground if needed. And bringing the hands to heart center. Press firmly to both palms, keep the chest open, and rotate back to a warrior 3 balancing pose. So the left knee remains bent, the right foot will be flexed. You can keep the leg as low and connected or as high as is comfortable, coming even parallel to the ground if that's possible. Two or 3 more breaths. Keep it steady and smooth. Keep the left knee bent. Slowly step that right foot down, releasing the right heel and coming up to 2 straight legs. So both legs are straight, both toes face forward. Hands can remain in heart center, or you can clasp the fingers behind the back, interlacing all 10 fingers. Either place. You'll bend forward from the hip, keeping the left hip pressed back to keep a nice length in the left hamstring. Keeping the back firm, flat or parallel to the ground, or if comfortable, you can release the hands to the left shin. then bend the left knee, coming back up on inhale, opening arms to a T, rotating that back foot so it's parallel to short side of mat to warrior two, lengthening the stance as much as is comfortable. Gazes over the front left fingers. Using both quads here to roll the hips, legs open toward the ceiling. Go ahead and straighten that left leg up, rotate the left foot in, turn the right toes out, finding warrior two on the opposite side, back foot's parallel to short side of mat, right knees over the ankle, arms to a T, gaze over right fingers. Notice the expanse in rib cage. From here, straighten that front leg up on inhale, rotate that back left foot this time to face the back of the mat. Both legs are straight, both toes facing back, hands to heart center or fingers interlaced behind. Exhale then to fold over that front leg. You'll keep the right hip pressed back this time. Head extends away from the hips, so lengthening the torso. So here you're going to keep a bend to the right knee this time. Keeping the hands to heart center, shift the weight to that front right foot. And see if you can come up into the warrior three or balancing position in one breath. Lifting the left leg, keeping the left foot flexed. Again, you can keep it low or high. Bringing the upper body parallel to the ground or leg parallel to the ground. Holding a few long breaths. Keeping the breath even, try not to rush or shorten the breath. Slowly keeping the right knee bent, lift up to that chair pose, keeping balanced or left leg off the ground if possible. Tailbone stays pointed down. And then release both feet to the ground, straighten the legs to standing, exhale, hands to heart center. Go ahead and just rotate around here, and then bring a bend to both knees. As you come toward the ground, bringing hands to the ground towards a squat position. So feel free to separate the feet out a bit wider apart. The heels don't have to touch. Hands can stay supported. If that low squat bothers your knees, it can of course be a higher squat. Or if you want to achieve the same principle in hip opening, you can also come to the ground, bringing the soles of feet together and opening the hips that way. So from either place, you'll maintain an opening in the hip. If you are in that squatting position with hands connected to the ground, feel free to use your elbows to open the legs a bit wider or bring the hands into prayer. Try to relax the glutes. From wherever you are, whether you're in that squat or from your seat, just come over into your both knees, allowing both knees to come together, untucking the toes, and again relaxing in child's pose. Go ahead and bring the hands to the ground, press up to tabletop position, and just one more time, lift that right leg out. Keeping it parallel, lifting the left arm at the same time, and see if you can alternate or rotate here. So if the arm lifted is too much, just keep it released to the ground. Lower the arm and leg and lift the opposite arm and leg, and then continue to switch for a few counts at your own pace, making sure the belly remains firm that you're virtually not shifting anything. Just raising and lowering, working on stability. Take one more on each side. And then crossing the ankles behind, come over to a seated position. Come to lie down on the back. And from the back, go ahead and pull the right knee in towards the chest. Cross the right foot over the body to a reclining or a supine pigeon position here. So you can hold that leg across the body, the foot across the body, or use your left knee to come up, and the right foot can relax on the left knee. You can keep the hands here supporting, the legs supporting, or you can release the hands to the ground. Slowly release that right leg, bring it back to the ground, and just make a few sort of soft windshield wipers with the legs in between. Just real soft. Sending the legs both forward and backwards, so slightly, or side to side. And then sending that left knee in towards the chest, bringing the left foot across the body towards the right side. Keeping the support with hands here, or lifting that right knee for support. You can also, if you're using your hands and have no issues with your in the knee or any pain, you can also use the left hand to push the left knee slightly away from you. Of course, you're always finding a place of stretch, maybe slight discomfort, but no pain. Note the air enter and exit. Take one more breath. Go ahead and release slowly that foot back to the ground. Taking a few soft windshield wipers again, side to side. Go ahead and send from here the feet up to the ceiling, making a few circles with the ankles or feet. Bending at the knees, maybe bringing the legs into a happy baby. Knees come wide. Hands can wrap around the ankles or shins. You can rock side to side softly. Send the feet back up to the ceiling on inhale. And then keeping the hands connected to the ground and the low back connected to the ground and the core nice and firm, belly pulled into the spine. Keeping the belly firm. Lower the legs toward the ground, about a third of the way to the ground. Hold there, keep breathing. Exhale, lower a bit further, keep breathing. And a bit further, keep breathing. And pull the knees back in toward the chest, hands around the shins. Closing the eyes softly. Allowing the feet to come toward the ground. Keeping the feet rooted underneath the knees more or less, or the knees will be over the feet when lifting. Hands will be connected to the ground. Feet are hips distance apart, about 6 inches below the bottom. Fill the belly with air. And on exhale, lift the hips and bottom toward the ceiling, towards bridge pose. Here you're keeping the gaze up so the neck is neutral. You're squeezing the inner thighs together, softening the glutes a bit. Noticing the belly lift and soften, fall. Exhale, lower the bottom back down to the ground. Pull the knees to the chest one more time. Take a slow, sort of just shift side to side. massaging the low back, kidneys, adrenal glands. Relaxing the feet then toward the ground. Once you are complete, you can keep the feet relaxed to the ground, or if you have any issues in the low back, you can keep the knees up and knees towards each other. Take a few moments to relax, allowing the air to enter and exit through the nose. Allowing the breath to move at its own pace. Trying not to feel any sense of rush. Relaxing the muscles in face, jaw, whole body. Simply receiving the air as it enters and releasing the air as it exits. Find a bit more movement maybe in the toes or fingers. When you're ready, slowly draw the knees back toward the chest one more time, awakening the body a bit. And then find your way slowly to a seated position, taking your time to come to that seat. Maybe keeping the eyes closed. Once you get to a seat, allowing the hands to relax in the lap. Sending the arms up on inhale, lengthening, looking up. Exhale, send the palms together, lowering them in front of heart. Bring the hands, their thumbs to the heart, bow the head to the hands. Respecting, taking a moment to honor your practice. Namaste. Have a really nice day. Thank you for joining me.